As the global economy anticipates a slowdown in 2023, we anticipate that ASEAN will maintain its resilience. Reports on ASEAN investments indicate a noteworthy trend, with foreign direct investment inflows into the region escalating by 42% in 2021, reaching $174 billion. The momentum continued in 2022, setting a new record with FDI inflows surging to an unprecedented $224 billion. While the economies of the USA and Europe grapple with sluggish growth, ASEAN has emerged as a dynamic and rapidly evolving economic center, demonstrating remarkable resilience amid unprecedented challenges, including the ongoing pandemic. Today, ASEAN stands as the world's fifth-largest economy, boasting a GDP of $3.1 trillion. Experts suggest that by 2030, ASEAN will outstrip Germany, securing the fourth position with its GDP more than doubling to $6.6 trillion. This projection places ASEAN just behind China, the United States, and India in global economic rankings. In this video, we will explore the reasons behind ASEAN's ascent as a preferred destination for global trade and investment, examining the factors propelling its economic growth. Before we delve into the details, we encourage you to subscribe to our channel, demonstrating your support and ensuring you stay informed about future engaging videos like this one. The demographic edge of ASEAN. While China continues to dominate as the powerhouse in emerging markets, drawing global attention with every fluctuation in its GDP, the focus of investors and multinationals is shifting southward towards the 10 vibrant markets comprising the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN. Established in 1967, ASEAN encompasses Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam, economies at various stages of development, yet all sharing significant growth potential. As a major global hub for manufacturing and trade, ASEAN also stands out as one of the world's fastest-growing consumer markets. One pivotal factor propelling ASEAN's ascent is its advantageous demographics. With a collective population surpassing 650 million, ASEAN's demographic strength serves as a potent driver of its economy. ASEAN surpasses both the European Union and North America in population size. Furthermore, it boasts the world's third-largest labor force, trailing only behind China and India. To leverage these demographic advantages, the region must prioritize the development of its human capital and enhance workforce skills. The demographic dividend, characterized by a youthful population, creates a conducive environment for accelerated economic growth and development. The vitality of an economy is inherently tied to the contributions of its people, and this demographic advantage underscores the imperative of ensuring that all segments of the population actively contribute to and benefit from the economic landscape. The relatively youthful ASEAN population is projected to expand from 654 million in 2018 to 726 million in 2030. Representing half the size of the Chinese population, this demographic surge forms a colossal market that cannot be overlooked on the global stage. United Nations forecasts predict a robust increase in ASEAN's urbanization rate, rising from 49% in 2018 to 56% in 2030, and further escalating to 66% by 2050. A growing population, coupled with elevated education levels due to urbanization, is anticipated to catalyze increased foreign direct investment inflows. This surge in investment will be driven by higher productivity growth, surpassing global average GDP growth, technological transfer, and the establishment of indigenous industries. Urbanization and the rapidly expanding consumer market. According to a McKinsey report, Asia presents a remarkable $10 trillion consumption growth opportunity in the coming decade, representing half of the world's upper middle income and above households and consumer transactions until 2030. Simultaneously, the Asian consumer is experiencing increased affluence, engaging in more online purchases, displaying heightened awareness of sustainability, and demonstrating a greater willingness to share data. Companies attuned to Asia's distinctive characteristics are poised to capitalize on the potential of its expanding consumer market. Consider Indonesia as an example, where approximately 75% of the population falls within the middle-class category. The country's anticipated total consumption expenditure of $1.3 trillion by 2030 is projected to constitute one-third of ASEAN's overall consumption, establishing Indonesia as the region's most significant consumer opportunity. Indonesia's digital consumption has soared, driven by the collective influence of millennial and Generation Z users, who currently make up 75% of ASEAN consumers and are expected to represent 70% of Indonesian consumers by 2030. In contrast, Vietnam is experiencing a remarkable increase in income. The average disposable income per capita is set to double from $2,000 to $4,000 by 2030, a growth rate twice that of the United States. Similar trends are observed in other regional countries such as the Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. Like Indonesia and Vietnam, the Philippines benefits from a substantial population size exceeding 110 million, positioning the country advantageously. The Philippines is poised to undergo the highest consumption growth in ASEAN by 2030. As income levels rise, various product categories are expected to reach a turning point, spurring increased consumption. Across ASEAN, the next decade is projected to welcome 140 million new consumers, with the region's GDP per capita forecasted to reach $6,600 by 2030. The urbanization of ASEAN is closely aligned with its economic expansion. Driven by foreign direct investment and active involvement in global value chains, the economic landscape has transitioned from agriculture-centric to industry-focused and subsequently towards a service-oriented model. The cities within the region have served as catalysts for economic growth, attracting millions from rural areas and elevating numerous individuals out of poverty. Global trade flows and trade agreement. In 1990, ASEAN comprised 4% of global exports, but today this figure has doubled, with ASEAN countries now contributing 8% to global exports. This surge is attributed to the growth in China and the expansion of value chains, leading to increased integration with China. Since 2007, China has been the primary supplier to ASEAN, becoming its leading client in 2009. Bilateral trade between China and ASEAN experienced robust growth, soaring from $641.5 billion in 2019 to $975.3 billion in 2022. In 2020, ASEAN surpassed the European Union as China's largest trading partner, a position it has held for 14 consecutive years. Together, China and ASEAN form a colossal consumer market of 2 billion people. The economic synergy between ASEAN and China is evident. China's reforms have propelled its industrial, infrastructural, and technological capabilities, along with substantial financial resources. On the other hand, ASEAN boasts diverse natural, mineral, agricultural, and human resources. The lower wages in ASEAN countries make them ideal manufacturing bases for Chinese export companies seeking to navigate anti-China trade restrictions or higher tariffs imposed by the United States. Beyond the economic impact of China's rise, ASEAN member states occupy a strategically vital position in global trade. Positioned at the crossroads of key sea routes between the Persian Gulf and Indian Ocean to the west, and the South and East China Seas to the east, these nations facilitate over one-third of the world's seaborne trade, including approximately 80% of China and Japan's oil imports. In addition to their strategic location and trade flows, free trade agreements have played a significant role in boosting ASEAN's economies. In 2020, ASEAN countries, along with 5 regional partners, inked the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, known as RCEP, recognized as the largest free trade agreement in history. RCEP is poised to link around 30% of the world's population and output, potentially yielding substantial gains. Projections suggest that RCEP could contribute an annual increase of $209 billion to global incomes and a $500 billion boost to world trade by 2030. In summary, the outlook for ASEAN appears promising. Despite confronting various challenges, including the South China Sea dispute and political stability concerns among member states, ASEAN stands as a pivotal driver of future economic growth. What are your thoughts on whether ASEAN or the Southeast Asian nations are poised to shape the future? Feel free to share your opinions in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this content, show your support by hitting the like button. To stay updated with more engaging videos like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel.